Hello everyone, my name's Bobmitch and welcome back to some more Star Citizen. It's once again been a hot minute, hasn't it? Well, I finally made some time to get down and have some fun on the PTU. I really haven't had the time lately for Star Citizen due to real life circumstances. However, I've come and have a look at the 100i series. This thing came out in concept like 2 years ago, roughly? Around about that time, I think. So it's one of these things that's still taken a long time from concept to reality, even though not as long as some of the other ships. But I'm going to take the cargo variant out today. I'm not going to linger in the hangar because we don't want to let this thing despawn. But yes, these things look very sleek. They are, of course, Origin's entry into the starter ship role. So, you know, alongside the Aurora and the Mustang and even you could say the Avenger, although the Avenger isn't really a starter ship. It's kind of the go-to recommendation for a lot of people playing Star Citizen. I don't think I even shut the door then, did I? So yes, it's Origin's foray into that kind of market, as opposed to going to something which lots of people tend to choose the Mustang. The Aurora I kind of feel is out of contention at the minute because it just seems so basic compared to what we already have now. Oh, I like that. That's very slick, that door sealing motion. Let's get this thing out of the hangar so we can have a proper look at it. I had a very quick, like 10-minute play with the original 100i, so just the basic 100i, but I wanted to have a look at the cargo variant as well. So that's what I've chosen to do in the video. Because I feel the ship's a bit more interesting because it's a nicer colour, even though the white is cool. I have a white 890 jump. It'd be nice to have something with a bit more colour to it. And it's got a little extra party piece, which is it can carry a little bit more cargo. So we're going to take it out of the hangar here and just have a quick look. Out into New Babbage's freezing atmosphere. I say have a look at it, but I'm not going to be able to walk around it that much because I will freeze.
Thank you, and please visit again.
It's a loud afterburner. I have to say, this thing does feel pretty sluggish for such a little ship. Doesn't like to turn or bank. It could just be because this is in high wind and you can see all the rain coming on the canopy. Let's give it a little bit of altitude and see if that changes things. So then, exterior wise, it's a very sleek, very cool looking ship, I think. The original concept for it looked really cool and they've done really well in sticking to the concept design right down to the, you know, the giant Origin logo on the wings there. This thing has 2 size 3 underslung hard points, but I believe these weapons that come with it are size 2. I could be wrong. Again, I'm no weapons guru because I'm not really playing Star Citizen for the combat. It also has a missile launcher, which is hidden under the nose. You can just about see the doors on the nose there. But yeah, there's a little bay under the nose of the ship that opens up and it lets the missiles out of there. So it's a cool little missile gunboat. And I believe the dogfight variant, the 125A, has an extra missile bay as well for firing missiles. So it has that as like a little party piece. The 125A looks a little bit different as well. I noticed when I had a quick look. It's got like, it almost looks like a racing variant because it's got more like intakes. Like there's one on top and there's a couple in the wings, and yeah, it makes it look more like something that belongs in the Murray Cup, to replace the 350R to take on the M50, even though the M50 is also Origin's ship, so they kind of win it already. But anyway, getting distracted. I do love the look of this thing. I love all the little winglets and like the canards coming out on the nose. I believe, if I'm not wrong, I could be wrong, I'm going to try and zoom in. The little thing that says air on the engine intake there on the side of the hull is for, it's like a little refinery, so this thing sort of generates its own fuel as it flies along, like it converts hydrogen, or rather uses the air that it takes in to convert into hydrogen for fuel. So this thing, like going along on a cruise, when its cruise control is activated and it doesn't need to fly further or faster than it's currently doing, it can regen fuel. So it's a bit more of a long-winded traveller compared to other starter ships. So it's, you know, more for longer distance, so you don't have to worry about refueling as much in this thing. Let's see if we can find a nice spot to put this thing down. That looks quite cool, that little lake over there. Let's see if we can go and land over there without freezing. Yeah, this thing does feel very sluggish. Doesn't want to turn very much. So I can see this being an interesting dogfighter. Maybe someone with more skilled hands than mine can do very well with it, but I've already made clear that I am no dogfighting champion. Very windy here and gusty with those big gusts going on. Doink. Right then. Engines off, let's have a look around. So, first thing to note, of course, is this giant canopy, which it breaks up the lines of the ship a lot, and I know some people don't like that, but I think it's quite well done in that it doesn't have tons of struts, because I know struts is a big trigger word for people with canopies. They've done it really, really well, and even when you're laying down in the bed, like the first thing you see is looking out of the canopy, which is quite cool. I would assume somewhere in this screeny thing here, there's like some kind of storage for food or something, because this is meant to be, well, the original is meant to be like a pathfinding ship, so even though it's basically a little shuttle, the original. Going to the back, you can use these panels here, and in here is the cargo bay, or at least one of the cargo bays in this particular variant, so you can crawl in this one, you can hide someone in there, and then going up into this one, the camera sort of twitches out a bit in here, I don't know why. Opening this top compartment here, you can see that you have access to all of the components, so easier access to maintain when we get that kind of gameplay, fix or replace components should you need to. Where you would store the spares, of course, outside of your own cargo space, is down to you. Let's open this door back up. Go down this very snazzy little staircase that pops out. I have 16 minutes of life, that should do, just to have a look around, shouldn't it? So you can see you've got these cool thrusters popping out here, and the winglets, and I don't think I can quite get underneath to show you the missile bay, but it's down under here. Ooh, what's this? QT drive. I see, I didn't know about this one, so you can access more of the components on the exterior of the hull, kind of like the Gladius, that's quite cool. Thrusters, and yeah, so you're seeing here adaptive intake refinery, so this thing takes in, I would say, like interstellar medium and turns it into hydrogen fuel, so yeah, you get more fuel as you cruise along. And then the party piece for the 135C, going to the back, you can lower this ramp here and you have your extended cargo bay, so you can pop inside here. Oh, it's warm in here, it warms my character back up. And you can see that you have the extended cargo bay space. So, or more space for stowing away people, I suppose, if you're more inclined for that kind of thing. I'll try and find the button to close it back up. There we go. In the 100i, there isn't anything there. And then in the 125A, that's where there's an extra missile bay. So you can fire a little more missiles. So, yeah. In a nutshell, this is the 135C in specifics, because it's this ship and not the others. As for what they are at the minute, I don't have one. I did for a while when it was in concept, but I used it as kind of like an LTI token, so I may get it back, because I'm actually becoming rather attached to this thing. They're a neat little shuttle that's well armed, and even though they're kind of sluggish, this one, with its cargo carrying capacity, depending on how you feel about looks, I think it is very, very high in contention with the flying penguin, our lovely beloved penguin, which obviously comes very highly recommended as a starter ship. So the Avenger definitely has it beaten on weapons because it's got the size 4 hardpoint onto the nose, but as for everything else, I would say this one is definitely beginning to overtake and eclipse it. So, the Origin 100 series. If I get some more time, I'm definitely going to make some more stuff on 3.11, hopefully before it goes live. If not, I'll have to do it when it goes live, depending on how much time I have for Star Citizen, because as I said, my real life circumstances have changed and I don't have a lot of time for video games at the minute, unfortunately. But I'm doing my best. So, yes. So more 3.11 stuff. There's plenty of cool stuff to go through. There's the new FPS weapons, there is new armor, there's the sort of G effects affecting you now. I can't remember what they called it in the patch notes, where you kind of get thrown around inside a ship if it makes hard turns or takes impact, which is very, very, very cool. Very Star Trek, although of course we don't have to fake the movements like I did on camera. And there's even things like when I was walking around Microtech earlier on, it's like they have some kind of election going on. As I said, I haven't been on the RSI site very much, so I haven't been able to follow the law. But yeah, it looked like there was some kind of election for a Prime Minister, also, or First Prime, or something like that going on inside Microtech when I was walking around. So that's quite cool as well. I may have to do a piece on that. But as for things at the moment, this is the Origin 100 series. Likely to pick one of these ones up because I really, really like the 135C. And use it as a shuttle in my 890 jump when I get to go and take that thing out, and we can spawn ships in ships. Hopefully not before too long. And I will see you guys next time.